In the next case, all we are going to do, we are going to create first a container class. And we are going to intend it a little bit. Here it goes. Now we have practically used a container class with our Tailwind CSS. Reload. This will be the result. Now we cannot practically understand what is going on in the background. In that case, we need to put some sort of background color properties into our project in an order to estimate what is exactly going on. If we use this particular container class, what is the ultimate result that we have experienced into our browser. So in that particular case, if we get back to their official website, this is the container class that we are practically making usage of, and this is the background color property that you may find here. Under this background property, you can see that this is the background color which is being described over here, like this BG transparent or BG black. Same thing here, all those class names, those are with some definite purposes and with some definite hex color codes over here. You may see those color codes by the side which is being used by this particular class of BG Gray for say. There's another class of BG Gray 200, BG Gray 300, 400. First of all, let's see what are these color codes over here. You can see that this is the red color codes. All those shades of red is being used in these particular classes over here. This is the yellow color code or orange color code it is practically. This is the yellow color code, different shades of yellows, green, blue, and different things right over here. This is the violet, this is the pink. So all those shades, you may practically work with all those shades. For say, we are practically going to make use of this BG blue background color. So we may copy it, we may get back to our project, and with this container class, we are practically going to use this particular BG blue 500 class. Now if we get back to our project and reload, now this is the thing that we will be seeing right over here. We can see that this is the span of this particular container class, and opposite to the nature of container classes, those being defined in Bootstrap or in Materialize, it is practically not aligned into the central position automatically. So in an effort to center them into the central position of your web page, then all we need to do, we need to use another special kind of class over here, which is known as MX Auto. For the time being, we are going to make usage of this one. Now if we get back to our project and reload, now we can see now this particular container class, it is practically centrally assigned. And on the other hand, if you get back to their official website and if you click onto this container layout page of their website, then you can see that these are the definitions of this container. So here we can see that if we do not mention any kind of proper breakpoint classes along with this particular container class, like this SM, MD, all those things are practically breakpoints right over here. So if we do mention, still we can see that this will be the result where the container is having a max width of 1280 pixels. Have a look over here. This is the container class, and you can see that the max width is now set to 1280 pixels. Now if we have a look in the mobile responsive preview, we can see that this is the container class. Press F12 to open up your code inspector panel and select this particular container class, and you will see that the container width is now set to 100%. So this is practically set for 100% right over here. But in case of bigger desktop documents, you can see that the max width is now set to 1280 pixels. Now you might have observed that in this particular case, there's practically no kind of default margin and padding properties. And another thing that I need to mention over here, in case of defining the margin of Tailwind CSS containers, all we need to do, we need to mention some proper mx property and some proper my property. So what is this mx and my? Mx means margin of the element along the x-axis or the horizontal axis, and my means margin of the element along the y-axis. In the similar manner, if we wish to create some kind of padding into our container class, then for the x-axis alignment padding, we need to set px, and for y-axis alignment padding, we need to set py. And then we need to specify the grid part that we wish to leave from both the ends or from all the four corners. For say, if we get back to our project and if we now set, we have already set this mx to auto condition. That means the margin along the x-axis, it is now auto calculated to set the container set into this particular central or middle element. Now if we wish to have some kind of gap from the top, as we can see over here, then all we need to do, we need to set some my. Now if we get back to our project and reload, now we can see that there's a definite or specific gap of this container from the top. In the similar fashion, if we wish to set some kind of padding here, now in that order, let's get back to our project, and in some effort to put some padding along the x-axis direction, we need to put some padding into the parent class, which is container over here, and we are talking about horizontal padding. So that is why we need to put this particular command over here, which is px4. Now if we get back to our project, for the time being, just have a look over here that this hello beautiful world, it is now practically deviated into the extreme left position of this particular container. And now if we reload, this whole phrase, it is supposed to move to the right by 4 grids right over here. So if we reload, we can see that the same thing, that the exact same thing is being displayed right over here. It is now displaced a little bit into the right part of this particular container. And if we want a vertical padding, then in the similar fashion, we need to put here py for say 6. Now if we get back to our project and reload, we can see that this will be the result. So this is how we can set margin and padding into our project. X defines the horizontal axis here, that means the horizontal displacement will be denoted here. Y defines the vertical axis or the vertical movement or displacement right over here. M stands for this margin and P stands for this padding. So in case if we wish to put some margin and padding, then we need to set our classes, we need to set those syntaxes accordingly.